Hi, my name is Karen Fabian, and I'm the founder of Bare Bones Yoga. And thanks for taking a moment to watch my YouTube channel and to watch this video, which is a video where I'm going to share with you my training path for teachers. And this is something that's been brewing for a while as I've been developing and implementing my own training programs with teachers, specifically focused on helping them understand anatomy and share it in understandable and relatable ways with their students. And also, along with that, to help them really understand the rationale, or what I like to call the why behind the cue. This understanding that yoga teachers can gain by learning anatomy can be a really powerful shift for them from just saying cues without really understanding what the why is, to sharing information with their students where it really comes from their own knowledge base, sharing it in their own words and sharing it clearly, effectively, confidently. And all of that together helps them feel more comfortable in their skin, helps them connect to their most authentic way of teaching, rather than feeling like they're out there teaching, just kind of being influenced by maybe who they see on YouTube or different things, different people, and just kind of feeling out of sorts. My goal in working with teachers is to help them become purpose-driven, really clear on their style of teaching, their way of sharing yoga, all along the way, helping them to understand anatomy so that they can share it with their students. Because let's face it, yoga is a movement practice, and you need to understand what's going on in the body in order to effectively coach your students through the postures. So, as many of you know, I'm sure if you're watching this, if you're a yoga teacher, you've probably already gone through maybe a 200-hour training that was at a local studio, or maybe you went away for that training. And when you came out of that training, you were able to connect with Yoga Alliance, which is the industry organization. And from that process of taking a 200-hour training and registering with Yoga Alliance, you became a registered yoga teacher. Now, maybe you're watching this and you're currently in your 200-hour training, so you're in that process. The ultimate point or end goal of that initial 200-hour training is that you're a registered teacher. Now, many registered yoga teachers come to me for my anatomy training because they realize that they just didn't get a lot out of the anatomy portion. For whatever reason, they came out of that 200-hour training, and sometimes even 300 and 500-hour trainings, or multiple 200-hour trainings, still feeling like they have that knowledge gap. And I totally understand that. There's a lot of reasons for that, but be that as it may, it's just where the teachers are at. And so over the years, I've developed a specialty program in anatomy and teaching. And I want to share with you what my certification path is. Now keep in mind, from a languaging perspective, being a registered yoga teacher is a designation given to you by Yoga Alliance, which is the only industry registry for yoga teachers. It is not a certification body. It simply recognizes you for completing a training provided to you by a studio or a teacher that is recognized as well by Yoga Alliance as a registered yoga teacher at a certain level. Someone like myself is a registered yoga teacher, an experienced registered yoga teacher, and also a continuing education provider with Yoga Alliance. So in my role with those designations, I am permitted to teach anatomy in 200-hour trainings. And also, when teachers take my trainings, they are able to use the hours with me towards their registration with Yoga Alliance, the continuing education portion of things. However, certification is something given to you by an individual teacher. So my original certification, in addition to registering with Yoga Alliance, was with Baron Baptiste, my first teacher, who I have great respect for and who's influenced my teaching a great deal. So certifications are given to you by an individual teacher because that teacher's relationship with you is much closer than some registry where no one at that registry is ever meeting with you. And quite frankly, no one at that registry is really ever meeting with any of the teachers that trained you. All of the processes are simply submitting information, this is what we plan on doing. And I'm not here to comment on whether that's good or bad or right or wrong, it's just the way it is. However, because I found that many teachers were coming to me with this understandable knowledge gap in anatomy, meaning they understood they had this gap, and they were looking for a specialty program in anatomy, that's what my certification is about. So it's a niche certification program specifically on anatomy, understanding anatomy, and applying it to teaching. So let me explain to you what the training path is. So I've got it listed out here, and even if you can't see it, I'll walk you through it. So the first step in the process is you have completed a 200-hour program. So that says to me that you've gotten all the basics down and you have completed that baseline knowledge of understanding of yoga and yoga teaching. The next step is you would enroll in my signature program for understanding anatomy called the Blueprint Learning Program. And this is a completely online learning program. However, it's supplemented with live coaching calls that I do every time a new group of teachers enrolls in the program. They are also participating in 3 live coaching calls. If they can't make the calls live, they watch them on the replay. And what these live calls do is it brings everybody together. It gives them an opportunity to interact with me in a live format, very much like what you would do in a live teacher training in person. The program itself is a systematic look at anatomy through 10 or 12 different modules. And it takes you through a systematic journey, let's call it, of understanding anatomy. I've specifically pulled out all of the key things that you need to know rather than having you try to understand everything about anatomy. It's just the key aspects. And with every module, there's a check-in. So you have an opportunity to check your knowledge and make sure you're retaining from module to module. You have 100% anytime support from me via email, so it's not as if you're buying this online program and are just left to your own devices to complete it. And the live coaching calls gives you a regular opportunity soon after you enroll to interact with me, to get some additional coaching. In those coaching calls, I often break down postures, talk about sequencing, and share different aspects about anatomy, especially around the muscles, which can be a challenging part for teachers to learn. So typically, when teachers enroll in the Blueprint Learning Program, within a month to 6 weeks, they're through with the program itself. They graduate from the program and they're listed on my website as a Blueprint Learning Program graduate to give them that recognition for the hard work they've already put into their training path. From there, they can apply for my 6-month mentorship program. This is completely one-on-one and individualized. In this program, we look at 4 pillars. We look at understanding of anatomy, teaching yoga through different modalities. I'll have you practice teach. We develop a business plan for you if that's something that you need help with and something that you want to discuss. And then also personal development. So we start to look at what are some of the limiting factors that you might feel are impacting your ability to grow. Sometimes these have to do with things on the business side. There's just some technical knowledge you need. Sometimes teachers want to grow their online presence and they want to understand some of the kind of technical infrastructure pieces of that. And sometimes, and really all the times, teachers recognize that there are some personal blocks they have that are getting in the way of them being their most powerful, clear, authentic self when they teach. Maybe they feel like they need more confidence, or maybe they've got some self-limiting beliefs from who knows when, and those kinds of things kind of get into their mind when they're really trying to connect with their students. So there's lots to the 6-month mentorship, and it's really meant to be a pathway for teachers where they're working with me one-on-one in a very customized curated way so that they come out of that program feeling like their teaching skills are upgraded, their knowledge of anatomy, even beyond the Blueprint Learning Program, is upgraded because they've really learned different ways to apply anatomy to their teaching. At the end of that program, if it is possible, they come to Boston, where I live, for a face-to-face day where we do some in-person mentoring, we have a spa day, we go out to lunch, we do a little dinner. If that's not possible to do in person, we spend more time in an online wrap-up session via Zoom. And then from there, they complete the mentorship program, and the teacher is certified in anatomy and teaching by me. They are then listed on my website as a Bare Bones Yoga certified teacher in anatomy and teaching. And then every year they recertify with me, and throughout the year they have several touch points with me where they keep me up to date on what's going on with their teaching. I share with them lots of different learning opportunities to continue to give them opportunities to add to their knowledge. I have a yearly retreat where they will receive a discount for attending the retreat. It's an opportunity to relax, renew, kind of download some new information, work with me one-on-one. And so at the end of every year, there's an opportunity for us to come together for that recertification process. So it's really an ongoing thing where the teacher is always highlighted on my website, coming onto my podcast, using my platform in a way to share what's important to them about yoga, using opportunities that I share with them to continue to grow their knowledge, and all along the way, really having opportunities to share what they love with their students, buoyed up by this framework that has given them a solid foundation of anatomy and helped them work through any kind of obstacles that they have on the personal level that are blocking them from being their most authentic, powerful, clear teacher with a purpose, with a mission. So if you're interested in this training path and you are a 200-hour graduate from a 200-hour program, the first thing you should do is get on the waiting list for my Blueprint Learning Program. I open enrollment for this program once every month or so, sometimes a little bit longer. And if you're on the waiting list, you get the first opportunity to get in on enrollment. Every time I open enrollment, I limit how many teachers, because as you can see, there's a lot of interaction from me, and I want the group to be small, and I want them to feel supported. So I'm going to include the link for the waiting list with this video. So all you need to do is click it, get on the wait list. I'll contact you. I can find out a little bit more about what your story is and what you're looking to learn and how you're looking to grow. And from there, you can begin your journey on the path to certification. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and I will see you soon. Namaste.